Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have been wanting to record and bring you guys along this journey a lot of the time, but I just have been so exhausted, like mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's been very, very exhausting, and a lot of times I couldn't just find myself, like find it within me to pick up the camera and record anything. I have like little snippets and things when we were in Chicago, and I have a lot of pictures, but I don't have a lot of video. And so I'm actually 39 weeks and 4 days pregnant. I know I haven't shared a lot of updates here specifically on YouTube about my pregnancy just because it's been overwhelming. So this will be the first time that you guys are hearing about it. When I had my anatomy scan at it was like 20 weeks and some days, I had found out that they said they saw abnormalities on our baby boy's brain and his spine. And so we got referred to maternal fetal medicine for a level 2 ultrasound. And that's when they confirmed that he had spina bifida 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐸, which is when the spine is forming. The brain and the spine form together very early at like 28 days. It just didn't form and close properly. And so the spine was exposed and it wasn't skin covered, and which meant that every second it was being exposed, that exposure is doing damage, right? That was very overwhelming. I can sit here and like tell you guys that now, but when I first found that out, I was just completely freaking out, not knowing what that meant for my baby and what it meant for me. Quickly, I realized that it's one of the most common neural tube defects, and most parents decide to terminate their pregnancies because of it. And there was absolutely no way that I could do that. So we knew we had some options. We could do fetal surgery, or we could wait until he was born. And at first I thought, there's no way I can go have surgery and be gone for a month away from my children that I already have. So I sat with it for a couple days, and then I realized this is the absolute best thing for my son. And when I think about his long-term outcome, like his life and what that looks like for him, then of course I have to do it. There were two options. I could have gone to Ann Arbor to do an open procedure, or I could go to Chicago to do a fetoscopic procedure. Both procedures are pretty much the same, except when they get to your uterus, they will either do laparoscopic incision or they will completely open it up. And I went with a laparoscopic incision because I was like, it's gonna be better for me. Risk for me go down. I want to carry my baby as long as I can. That also would give me the possibility to go on and have a natural birth. If I did the open procedure, I would absolutely have to have a C-section. Those were my thoughts about it. We had decided together that that was, you know, the route we wanted to go. And even once we decided yes, we had to qualify. So that was a whole other journey that it took a couple weeks to get everything together. We had to do MRI, I had to do blood tests, I had to do amniocentesis, which was so scary. All different things to make sure that there was nothing extra wrong with him and that my body was healthy and able to go through with this major surgery as well. So the great news was that we qualified, and then we were on our way to Chicago. So I left for Chicago on my birthday, and that was June 7th, and then surgery day was June 10th. So I left on a Friday, surgery was on a Monday. So Monday morning was the surgery day. It was terrifying thinking about it. Looking back, I mean, of course I would do it all again if it meant, you know, what it does for him. And everything went perfectly smooth. There were no issues and no complications. The whole procedure from start to finish was about 8 hours. The first hour and the last hour were pretty much prep and opening me up and closing me up. Those like 6-ish hours were just operating on him. After surgery, and I went into recovery, he was busy and moving around right away. and they did not expect that because most babies are out for a day or two, but he was super active right away, which I felt was like, you know what, maybe that just means like he's doing really great. And ever since, that was at 25 weeks, 5 days, and now I'm 39 and 4 days, and he has just had no issues, no complications. His brain ventricles have been stable, his malformation in his brain is reversing, his back has stayed intact, everything looks great and wonderful. I have had no issues, which is also wonderful because that was, you know, there's a lot of risks when you go into this kind of procedure. You just never know. The biggest fear for me was preterm labor, and I knew that it was like the percentage for women who do this procedure and then have preterm labor and their babies are born super early is very high. So for me to be sitting here at 39 weeks is just amazing, and I'm really grateful for that. And so through this whole process, we actually also lost my mother-in-law because just a couple days before we found out about Gem, she also got a cancer diagnosis. And so on top of everything that was going on with me and baby Gem, like, life was just flipped completely upside down. And you know, it's hard for me to even be on here now talking about some of this, but so it was literally, she found that out on a Thursday and we found out about Gem on the following Tuesday. And so our family was just experiencing so much, and I don't know, like I said, like I wanted to be open and I wanted to share, but I never did because it was just a lot, and I just didn't want to have extra, I don't know, I was trying to like go through it and process it without letting it affect me too deeply, because I know stress in general when you're pregnant isn't, you know, good, and I was already at risk for preterm labor. And so we had surgery on a Monday, June 10th, and then we were leaving on that Friday, the 14th, and we got the call that she passed away. And shortly after she received her diagnosis, they told her she had about 8 weeks to live. And she didn't even get those 8 weeks. She made it 5. So it's been just really hard knowing that we have prayed for a son for so many years. And she knew that. She knew how much we wanted to have a baby boy, and she was so excited, and she wanted to be here. And he's the first grandchild she's not gonna meet, and she's seen all my children born. And so when we got back, well, she wanted to be cremated, so we thankfully didn't have to miss her funeral. We had a memorial service for her towards the end of July. It's been almost 2 months now. We lived with her, so we had to sell her home and we moved, so we're in a completely new place literally as of just for 1 month now. Through a lot of this, there has been a lot of answered prayers and good things, and there's also been a lot of heartbreak and grief and sadness. Back to baby Gem, I had hopes for a natural birth That's one thing they told me I would be able to do, but he has been in the breech position for quite a few weeks. He has one leg down and one leg up, and he is not moving from that position. He shows complete and full body movement. That's not the problem. He's just still breech. And so today is September 15th, and actually my due date is the 19th, but because he's been breech, they have a C-section scheduled. I have hoped and prayed, and I've done all the things to try to get him to flip into the head down position. I have done all the different inversions and things on spinning babies. I've gone to the chiropractor, 2 different chiropractors, Webster certified. In kinesiology, I've been muscle tested. I have done moxibustion. I don't know, I can't even tell you all the things. I've tried different things, and he has not moved from this position. So it looks like that is something I have to also surrender and let go of, since I'm not able to have a home birth and he is in this breech position. So though we will be trying an ECV where they try to manually flip him before the scheduled C-section, so we'll see how that goes. It's hard for me to be in this position because, you know, I've only had vaginal births and my last 2 were at home. That's just, I expected I would also have another home birth when I found out I was pregnant again. Never expected any of this. And then once I figured it all out, I thought, okay, even despite everything, at least I'll be able to have another vaginal birth, natural birth at the hospital at least. But I'm learning that you don't always get what you want, obviously, and I've just been taking it day by day, and I'm still hopeful that maybe he'll flip on his own, or maybe for the ECV, and if not, at least tomorrow's the day. So we'll be finally seeing him after all this time. And you know, this whole process, none of it's been easy. And you know, I've been talking on camera for 17 minutes, but it just doesn't cut everything. Like, every day and every moment, everything that I've felt, there's still so much that, you know, I can't even explain to you in such a short amount of time. So, but I did want to record this prior to him getting here because I don't want to wait till after. There's still other things I probably want to record and share at another time. And of course, I'm going to let you guys know how everything goes in another video. Like I said, I wish I was able to share while everything was going on. I just felt just completely flipped upside down, and I just really went through this, you know, all those stages of grief, not only for me and my baby, but for my mother-in-law, and, you know, just trying to get through everything in as best of a way as I can. And I'm thankful for my close friends that I've been able to lean on through this whole thing, because I couldn't do it alone, even though it's felt very lonely at times. I just wanted to record this and have this part out and ready to go for you guys. And of course, I'm gonna, like I said, let you guys like how everything goes from here on out. So if you watched this, made it this far, thank you for listening.